Hi everyone, Jacqueline here. So today I'm just going to give you a bit of a tour of the yard maintenance that needs to occur at this time of year in my garden. And I'm starting with the backyard. We have some glorious color happening now. The leaves are dropping on the few trees that I have that drop leaves. And it's quite pretty, but it's definitely fall. So let's go around and I'll show you some of the things and projects that are coming up and work I need to do to get this yard in tip-top shape in the next probably 6 weeks before we see snow. So I would say, like, usually around Halloween we get snow here in Saskatchewan. So that is what I'm preparing for. So lots of work to be done, lots of things I need to get planted. But today I'm just going to show you where things are at. And then the rest of the time you will see coming up some of the work that I'm going to be doing. And there's a lot of cleanup and maintenance, and I should divide some plants really. I mean, I put that off sometimes every year, but it's time to get at it. So maybe this is the year I get to some of those things. We'll see. Anyhow, let's have a look, and I want to start with the dahlias. So you can see here all the leaves on the ground, and we've just cleaned things up, but it's still really pretty in that, and I don't mind them. I mean, there's lots and lots of ladybugs around here, and the leaves are good for them. So we'll clean them up later in the week, but they're okay. So here are the dahlias. These are the 3 pots that I have out in the yard. I have cleaned the annuals out around them in the bottom, and I have pruned them up, as you can see. So they're totally cleaned up. This is a purple one. And as you guys remember, I pruned these back really, really hard. And now you can see that we have a lot of buds coming. Now, these purple ones, I think I mentioned before, were a bit of a disappointment because the flowers weren't that big, but there was lots of them. And you can see here, we have more buds. So I'm just gonna pick off the secondary bud here just to get rid of that so we get bigger blooms. But we're not predicting any frost for us for at least another week or so. So maybe I will get some blooms off these, but they're looking really good. Now, we had a really big storm come through here, and we got a good 2 inches of rain last week, and it came down hard. It was straight down, no wind. So I didn't know how these were going to do, but look at them. They seem to be hanging in there okay. Some look better than others. The one I pruned really hard looks really good. This one I could come through and do some deadheading on and clean up the flowers. They're a little smaller now with our cooler nights. It's still going down to about +4, but you can see lots and lots of buds on here. So they're doing okay. I'll come through and I'll clean them out. It looks like they've had a little bit of frost here on these leaves here. If we look at them close, there's some damage there, and that is frost. So we're hanging in there, and I guess this one had a bit too. If we look at the leaves, they're a little mangled in that. But for the most part, they're doing really well, because I find dahlias are one of the first plants to go when we get a hard frost. Now this one over here is more of the striped one, and this is the one that I have on the deck, and we have lots of blooms on it. It does need another pruning and cleanup. I would say more of a cleanup. You know, we just have some leaves that aren't looking the greatest on it, but lots of blooms, and it probably could use a good soaking, so I'll have to do that later because I see it looks a little bit on the dry side. But really, not a lot here to be done to these. It's just to maintain them and keep them going. I am trying to decide what I'm doing with these. Am I gonna cut them back, dig them up, and throw them in the basement? My basement's very warm, so I don't know if they'll keep. And do I really need 3 of the same kind? That's the debate. So we have the striped here, we have a red here, and then we have a purple here, which I don't know if I've even managed to capture for you guys in any of the videos. So the decision has to be made here if I'm keeping them or not. And I don't know. I'll think about it for a while. So let's go look at the other dahlias. Here are the 2 dahlias I pruned back the hardest. And you can see we're about to get some blooms. These are the ones on the deck, and they're looking really, really good. They're nice and full and bushy. It makes a real difference if you pick off the side shoots, because then you get flowers there too. So these are getting ready here to form some buds. So it'll be kind of like these. So these should open this week for sure. And you can see here on the back where I've cut them back too, they're getting lots and lots of shoots. So really nice bushy plant. Highly recommend it to do that. is to pinch them back hard, cut them back hard when they're looking straggly, and they will rebound, and they will rebound healthier for it. This is the one I think I shocked everybody with how hard I pruned it. And I mean, I pruned it hard because it was looking bad. And it does have some damage from the rain and from the frost, but we have all new shoots coming on it and it is doing really well. I have since moved it, so it's more sheltered by the house. And with these cooler temperatures, it's not a bad idea to give them a little bit of shelter from the frost or cold temperatures coming down. But really nice, really full. I've cleaned out the plants in the bottom of it and it's just looking glorious. Very, very happy. Here is a fall update on the miniature roses. You can see here there's not a lot of blooms. I just came through here and deadheaded, but there's all new flowers coming on these. And I'll show you some of them that are in bloom here. So you can see some of these are just finishing here. And you can see they're kind of spotted from the rain. There's rain damage on them. Same with this one. But there's lots of buds on these. And I'll show you the buds. You can see them all here, all the buds on these plants. So if you prune them back, you will get bloom. And I will let them bloom right up to the minute I cover them. Look at all the buds on these. Tons and tons of new blooms. There's my red one, actually, it's going to bloom. So these are still looking good. They did have a lot of damage from rain and weather. And I came in here and I pruned them back really hard because that's what I do. And now we're seeing some nice red growth starting to come on the leaves. So they're looking much, much better. But some of them were looking really, really shaggy. And you can see here, some of my bigger ones over here are just finishing up blooms. And then there's new blooms starting to come right here. So pretty. Same with these. They're all starting to bloom again. And I do feed them, but it's not very often. I think I only fed them about twice this year. You can see the buds here in the yellow and same here. So overall, they are looking great and they will probably get 1 or 2 more blooms off of them and then I'll start preparing them for winter. You guys can let me know in the comments if you want to see a video on how I prepare these guys for winter again. I did do one last year that was very, very detailed. If you want instructions on how to do it, that would be the key. And I'll be doing the same thing this year. So I don't know if we need to do another video or not, but you guys can tell me in the comments if you need to see another video. The Hostas had a really good year this year out here. There's not a lot of bug damage. We're just starting to see a little bit of damage now on the leaves. You can see here. In the spring, I did actually move the blush colored Hosta here. You can see it right here. And you know what? I am really loving this plant. I love the red stems on it. The flowers here are deep purple and it's gorgeous. And I definitely would be splitting it. In fact, I see I could probably do it now. But they were in the front yard, in the front flower bed. It didn't do nothing. As soon as I moved it over here, it came to life. Same with my fern right here. I had it over in the side yard by our well, and it wasn't getting any water. It wasn't looked after for a couple of years. Moved it over here, and it's so protected. It's doing great. Even with the wire fence, it is doing good. So this has been a really good area for them. I think the coleus here is pretty much spent. I probably should have cut it back, but I didn't. But it's that time of year it's going to be coming out anyhow. And we'll start some new seedlings next spring. Or winter, I should say. So this area is coming along. Lilies should be cut back. Those ones didn't seem to get attacked by the lily bugs that much. These ones here. So that was good. And I'm surprised actually, touch wood, because it was just a bad year for lilies. I will say I didn't get the show that I normally get. But all the hostas are looking healthy here. They're in the shaded spot and they've been getting lots of water. So I would consider this a success. Over here, my roses are needing to be pruned back. Again, I need to deadhead these a lot. Those are the Chinooks. Because they will just keep blooming if I do. But the petunias are done. The pot should be cleaned out. And I need to go through here and just do a clean out of the bed. I got a lot of cosmos in there that probably aren't going to do anything. It's kind of late, and lilies that should be cut back in there. So a bit of work there. So this bed requires a lot of love. The potentilla needs a good grooming. It needs to be pruned back and shaped. The daylilies need to be cut back. I should have divided them. They're getting out of control. I didn't do that. All the petunias and stuff come out. Bird bath needs a good clean, and the hollyhock should be cut down to ground level. As well, you can see there's a poplar shoot there I need to take out, and the hummingbird feeders can come down. They were too late when I switched them over, and this one didn't do good at all because I think I put it up too late. Roses need to be deadheaded, and I really should move the sedum and split it too. There's always something, you guys, and I want to share with you how things are in my garden. And if I get behind, I'm happy to share it because I'm human like everyone else, and family and everything is a #1 priority, including, my regular job and stuff. And then the garden comes second. So, but I do really like my hollyhocks. And there's a few buds left of the black I want to show you. They're just so cool. You can see them here, and try to find one that's open. And you can see here, and look at all the seedlings coming off of them. So if you guys want to collect hollyhock seeds and not have to buy plants, man, if some of you lived next to me, I could give you some of these. Look at these. So every one of those seed heads is full of seeds. So you can pick those, collect the seeds, and give them to family and friends, or put more in your garden. Look at that. So I have lots of seeds, and that's off the black one. So I'm assuming, and this could be wrong, because these are just open pollinated, that if I collect these seeds by color, then I know what I'm planting next year. So that might be a task I try. I will probably do a video on collecting seeds here, and you will see how I'm doing it. But that's impressive, and that's a lot of seed just for one seed head that I picked. And look at them all. These are all seeds that are ready to open. These ones aren't ready yet, but these are. So we can have hollyhocks till the cows come home, is a saying. Same with these ones over here. Please ignore my dirty bird bath. I'll have to get to it. What's some weird shit in the bird bath? I don't know what that is. What is that? I don't know what that is. I think it's a plant. Anyhow, same with this one. I would like to collect the seeds off it. I think it's really pretty. And the yellow one away up there. So I'm going to try to pick them by color. But anyhow, I'll clean that bird bath tomorrow. So this Heliopsis has bloomed itself silly all summer long. I am so happy with it. It's so tall. It's a good 5 feet tall. And it has done well. I think we can collect seeds off of it too from these flower heads when they dry. They aren't quite ready yet, and we can start more. This is just a perfect plant. It stays in a nice mound all together down there, and it's been glorious. Pollinators love it, so I'm going to start some more of it and put more in the yard because it's so reliable and very little care, like nothing. Keep it watered and it's happy. And not all the time either. It took the dry conditions really, really well. I could come in here and deadhead it, but I think I'm just going to leave it and let it go to seed, collect the seeds, and then we'll plant some more next year. I suppose I could collect the seeds and put some down this fall if I get time. We'll see. But definitely, Heliopsis, great plant for cold climates, and in warm climate, it's just a ray of sunshine with these flowers. Aren't they pretty? So you guys seen in a prior video where I hacked these delphinium back to the ground level. Well, look at them. We have a whole bunch in here again. We had that heavy rain. You can see there's mud all over the boards on the deck here. The rain was so powerful that came down. But here we are. One of them did manage to come back and bloom. Bless its little heart. And such a beautiful shade of purple. And I did put more seed down here again to try to thicken up my bare spots like in this. And they're looking good. They're nice and thick. So I should have even more blooms next year. And hopefully they'll have a better year next year. This year is kind of a weird year for blooms. You can see I have a little bit of powdery mildew here. And delphinium do get it quite often. But I just prune them back. And every year they're fine. They come up clean. That's from the rain. So no big deal. I never worry about powdery mildew with delphinium because you just prune the leaves off and the plant is fine. It's really a survivor. My poor morning glories are a casualty of the rain. It was so heavy it knocked this trellis right down, Rob and I picked it up, tried to adjust it, and we killed them. Pure and simple. But I'm letting them dry, and then I'm going to click the seed pods. And I'll show you what they look like. They're right here. And look at the seed in them. So I'm going to let them dry and collect all the seed out of them, and then I can plant them next year. But oh, we were both pretty sad about that because these things were just so reliable, and they just did so well. But yeah, the trellis was right on the ground. It had crushed the heucheras and everything, and it was so heavy to try to get back up. So I'll be cleaning that up once I can collect the seeds, and that'll be that for this year. Now you'll notice a big difference over here. I came and I took all of the Mexican cornflowers out. And there was a couple of reasons for it. As I mentioned before, I wasn't happy with how they did. But the other reason was that when we got down to the +4 temperatures, they had gotten some frost at the top on them because they were so high up. So they did not look great. So the branches down were really green and there's still flowers, but they weren't looking good. So I took them out. And that was a big job, I will tell you. Those roots are huge. So beware if you try growing them again. But other than that, that is where the garden is at. I am starting cleanup out here too and going around. I've been cutting perennials back and getting a few things done and preparing for seed collection. So let me know in the comments what jobs you're working on at this time of year. It's the time of year where we start cleaning up, and I think a good time to gather seeds. At least that's my plan, to gather a lot of seeds this year, and hopefully we'll have success next year. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to give me a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe. I don't ask a lot. Anyhow, just kidding around. But yeah, that would be great. Anyhow, thank you for watching, and to those of you that are new subscribers, welcome to the channel, and I hope you'll stick with me. There's lots of things coming. Bye, everyone.